video games, animals, big holes in the ground, all things that children love and man-children yearn to create. When a YouTuber gets involved with making a video game, it typically does not go well. These games usually end up being disappointments, disasters, or in the worst cases, outright scams. However, despite the long history of failed projects by YouTubers, they keep trying to do it, and honestly, it's easy to understand why. As when you've built your career around the appreciation of a form of media, dedicating your life to showcasing the games you love, talking about the art you enjoy, it is only natural that one may want to graduate from simply consuming and commentating on media, and instead be involved in creating something wholly new themselves. And so, who are we to judge others for following the innate human urge to create? When's the last time you've tried to make a video game? It's hard work. They tried to bring something new into this world, and even if they failed, hell, at least they tried.
I've just noticed, Simon, that the money pot is empty.
That being said, when video game Dunkey announced his publishing company Big Mode, I was hoping for the best, but expecting the expected. What I was not anticipating, however, was Big Mode's first title to be one of the best exploration and puzzle games I've played in the last few years. Look, I'm going to be real with you. This game is good. You should play it, and you should play it blind. But as a content-brained YouTuber, I am contractually, algorithmically, and monetarily obligated to turn as much of this game into poorly produced audiovisual slop as humanly possible. So I'm going to start off by giving my spoiler-free thoughts here, to keep you until those sweet, sweet mid-roll ads play. And then, after that, I'll be jumping into the big spoilers. Anyway, Animal well, I sure hope they are. As someone who's brought up on a healthy mixture of Nintendo games and sprite-based RTSs to become the man-child I am today, I am not usually one to care too much about how a game looks, but Animal Well's graphics, while simple, are quite charming. The sprite work itself is quite well done, and as a result, the game's environments have a simple, yet captivating beauty to them. More importantly, this simple art style also serves to enhance the gameplay in a manner that I don't believe more detailed sprites or 3D models could achieve. The pixel art allows for just enough details to allow for subtle hints towards hidden treasures and secrets, without becoming detailed to the point where those hints become difficult to differentiate from background decoration. And in this beautifully decorated well, you'll be playing as the little guy, as you explore and meet the well's many residents, such as the duck, the chinchillas, the bastard, the squirrels, the fish, the bastard, the bastards, and the fucking asshole. But what are we actually supposed to do about these stupid little shits? Well, at first, not much. In fact, you really can't do anything to fight the animals at all in this game. All you can do is walk, jump, explore the well, and collect items, such as the bubble wand, which creates a temporary platform you can jump on, a frisbee, which you can throw to hit distant objects, and of course, my personal favorite item, the slinky!
Oh my god! I'm gonna come!
Look, it's got some fun segments, alright? And we'll be using all these items in our journey in order to find eggs and solve puzzles, which will then allow you to collect more items, which in turn allow you to explore new areas, find eggs, solve more puzzles, and collect more items, which then allows you to explore new areas yet again. This exploration style of gameplay loop where the discovery of items unlocks more areas to discover is often referred to as the Metroidvania genre. But unlike other Metroidvanias, such as Metroid and Vania, where there is a heavy combat component and you're a bad bitch who don't take no shit, in Animal well, you're instead just a bitch. Animals will attack you, and you're gonna be taking that shit unless you can find a peaceful means of conflict resolution. Unless, of course, you're fighting ghosts. Yeah, you're straight up killing those bitches a second time. For the most part, though, this game forgoes combat entirely and doubles down on the puzzle and exploration elements of the genre in a way few others do. You can also do this. That doesn't actually have any gameplay applications, I wanted to share. But if this game's all about puzzles, they must be good, right? Honestly, not at the start. I mean, just look at this one. You already see the solution, don't you? It's really hard to call it much of a puzzle at all. But if you think this is something you might have trouble with, you might want to pick a simpler game. Now look at this puzzle. What puzzle? Exactly. Not only do the puzzles get harder, they get straight up esoteric. As the game progresses, the puzzles in this game become steadily more complex, more clever, and eventually, so batshit fucking insane to the point where you really aren't going to be solving all of these puzzles on your own. In other Metroidvanias, the most difficult puzzles often boil down to find a tool, and then use that tool on every square inch of the map until something actually happens. How the fuck are you supposed to know that the only possible way to progress forward in this game is to use this specific bomb on this specific tile of wall that looks entirely indistinguishable from every other tile of wall around it? Fuck you, that's how. It's a puzzle. Use your brain, idiot. In Animal Well's case, however, even when I finally got to the point where my cute little wrinkle-free brain could no longer process the stupid amount of bullshit that was being thrown at it, and I was more or less forced to look things up in a guide, the solutions to these puzzles were always logical. All the information required to solve them had always been provided to me, whether my dumbass realized it or not. After learning the solution, I never felt like the puzzles didn't make sense. I just felt like more of an idiot for not solving them in the first place. The puzzle design is phenomenal to say the least, near entirely flawless. Emphasis on the near. There are a couple that I did not enjoy, but honestly, those were more of a skill issue than anything else. And as a personal hint from me, if you're having trouble doing some insane platforming puzzle in this game, you're probably just doing something the wrong way. If you're a fan of puzzle games, definitely give this a shot on your own. And even if you're on the intellectually disabled side of things, I promise that the most insane puzzles are not required in order to reach the credits of the game, and the only real brain melters are required if you're attempting to 100% the game and get every single collectible. And now, ads. Welcome back from the advertisement. If you did not get a mid-roll, thank you for watching while using YouTube Premium. Or alternatively, fuck you for watching while using an ad block. What am I supposed to do without that 0.02 cents of ad revenue? Alright, I think I gave enough time for people to click off if they want to. Spoiler time! After watching these 4 flames disappear and hatching from our flower, we are immediately free to explore as we please. In most games, moving left to right is tradition, but go left and we find our first secret egg. These aren't necessary to hit the credits, but you're still going to want to collect every single one you can for reasons we'll get into later. Going to the right, you will quickly discover your first tool, the firecracker, as well as the map of the well. Naturally, there's no map on this map, it is just a piece of paper, but I know from personal experience, paper has potential, as even from the beginning you can see the location of the 4 flames printed on it. Each of these 4 flames, however, is guarded by one of 4 animals. The cat, a ruthless assassin who endlessly stalks their prey. The chameleon, whose vigilant eyes keep keen watch over the well. The ostrich, who will relentlessly chase down anyone who tries to run away with their powerful legs. And the noble seahorse, who, is gonna squirt water at us. I guess. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what seahorses can do other than give live birth and be little bitches who hang on the seaweed all day so they don't get their asses dragged away by the current. But before we can get to any of the flames, there's something more important we're going to need to get first. Climb up this ladder to the left of the guardian statues and enter this little room with the peacock. Here, all of your collected eggs will be put on display, and once you've collected enough, the doors with the corresponding number of marks will open for you. After collecting 8 eggs, the first door will open, bringing us to a brand new area with a brand new item. Grab your flute and give it a toot in front of one of these pedestals, and these animal heads will activate. Each head also has a corresponding twin out there somewhere in the well, and once you discover both heads, the mouths will open, allowing you to instantly travel between the two. Bit weird that we have to get eaten to go somewhere else, but alright, whatever. I'm sure this won't be a running theme. Then, traveling down this ladder, we come across a bass, who, instead of making shitty YouTube videos like a normal fish, is instead stuck having some sort of a conniption in this little pond. Naturally, we use the item we just found a few moments ago to see if there's anything I can do to get him to act normal. By mimicking the directions he's facing on the flute wheel, I discover an 8-note song that, when played, whoa! Immediately teleports me back to the fast travel hub. Now this might sound inconsequential, but this is the first moment where I was struck with the sense that this game was actually something special. It's a simple puzzle, sure, and the fact that it's placed in a location that more or less guarantees you'll find it while you have the tool you need to solve it fresh in your mind does make it very easy to solve. But very importantly, it never tells you that it's a puzzle. It's up to you to realize that there's something you need to do here, without a single word of tutorial or instruction. This teaches the player early on that background elements should be paid attention to, as anything that sticks out of the ordinary may just be a hint towards something useful. But with that out of the way, it's time to collect the 4 flames. So, which one do we go for first? Take your pick. As far as I can tell, there's no required order to collect these in. This game is pretty open-ended, and you can just go in any direction you want. So for a while, I didn't collect any of them. Instead, I opted to just aimlessly wander the map, slowly picking up the previously mentioned toys, which, now that we're in the spoiler-free section, fuck this frisbee. This frisbee is on the big cat statue from the trailers, and when you take it, this big fuck-ass cat will spawn in and relentlessly hunt you down until you either put the disc back or until you are dead. which also puts the frisbee back. It's the same thing, but just wastes my time. This is a problem because I want it. I want the frisbee. Give me the fucking frisbee. The solution? We're gonna scam this bitch Indiana Jones style. Above that cat's room, we can find a disc called the M disc. Return that to the cat statue, take the frisbee, and when the cat comes in to say,
Excuse me, sir.
we can just say, oh hey, sorry, my bad, pretend to put the frisbee back, but instead place the M disc into the statue, allowing us to take the frisbee for ourselves. And now we never have to deal with this asshole again. And when you don't got a little bitch in your ear trying to kill you for it, this frisbee fucking slaps. While you can hit things in the distance, like I was telling you earlier, that's not all it does. This thing's got some secrets to it. Let it bounce off a wall and come back towards you, and you can jump on top of it, allowing you to straight up fly across the map. I discovered this entirely accidentally, and it blew my mind when I first saw it. Genuinely one of the most fun moments I've had in a game in a long time. But that's not the only thing I discovered, because towards the end of the game, while hopping around like a fucking moron, I accidentally discovered even more frisbee tech. If you throw the frisbee right before the top of your normal jump, you can just ride it immediately. No bouncing off a wall required. A lot of items in this game actually have hidden uses like this that you're not explicitly informed of, but the frisbee is definitely the deepest and most entertaining of these, and is probably one of the most fun items I've ever used in a video game. And sure, while I think that not informing the player of all the uses of these tools right away might lead to some players having some difficulty in later puzzles, it does make me feel clever when I discover these things for myself. However, all these tools, and I still have 0 flames. Not for long, however, because after heading east, I found some fucked up looking factory, using the labor of trapped animals to move some blocks around. Why are all of these animals trapped here, slaving away in this factory? I do not know, and I do not care, because after descending to the lowest floor of this factory and dislodging this ostrich's hamster wheel from the wall, he immediately tried to crush my ass. And after tricking him into running over this Looney Tunes ass trapdoor, I successfully opened the doorway, sealing away the first of the 4 flames. And as an added bonus, where the ostrich wheel once was, I found these arrows, which taught me this song, allowing me to free one of the trapped cats in the factory. However, it only worked on this one cat. This song, much like the strange dark lump my doctor pointed out in my lung x-ray, is a hint that we should probably take some time to look closer around here. But that's going to take a lot of time, and is extremely inconvenient for my current plans. So, just like that lump, I'm simply going to choose to ignore it for the time being. And I'm going to need that extra time too, because after tricking this giant chameleon in the forest into eating these hedgehogs, allowing me to get the second flame, and letting this seahorse solve the puzzle blocking the 3rd flame for me, honestly, you would have done a better job just not trying to defend me at all. There was a solid wall in the way, fucking stupid bitch. But with that dealt with, it was time for me to get the final flame and beat this stupid game. But there's a problem, because once I got to the final flame, I did not find a guardian spirit like I did with the 3 other flames, but instead a big ass fucking wall again, and a small statue in which was an M-disc sized imprint in it. The same M-disc imprint that is on the cat statue. The same cat statue I put the M-disc in. Yeah, you gotta take the M-disc back out of the cat statue and take it all the way up to this pedestal. And of course, that fucking cat is gonna be on your ass the entire time. Is there a reliable way you can dodge the cat while it's chasing you? Yes, there is. Do I personally have a reliable way of pulling that off? No, I don't. I died a lot here, but while I may be awful at playing video games, I am fantastic at bullshitting my way through them. You see, this cat will chase you anywhere you go. So I decided, alright, I'm just gonna go really far away, wait for the cat to float all the way across the map to me, and then use the fast travel head to get me closer to the pedestal I need to put the disc into. This doesn't quite give me enough time to get there without the cat catching up, but this does get me close enough to where I can simply tank all the damage the cat deals to me while I make my way to the flame. I don't think this was the intended solution. In fact, I know for a fact that it was not, but it makes me feel clever. This was honestly a huge pain in the ass, and yet, somehow, it's only the second worst part of this game. For the time being, however, I was done. All 4 flames were mine, and I was at long last in the end game. And oh shit, there it is. The animal well. Welcome to the depths of the well. This segment of the game is just like the rest of it, honestly, except spooky. There's ghosts everywhere, including this fuck-ass fog that kills you if you try to touch it. But fear not, because after completing just a few more simple platforming puzzles, we unlocked a brand new item that led us through. The lantern. Just like my pasty white ass, ghosts immediately burn to death when exposed to direct light, and so we'll do everything they can to avoid it, allowing me to pass through the deepest parts of the well unscathed, and into the home of the Manticore. Oh yeah, this guy. Yeah, this guy's kind of a bitch. I think he's supposed to kind of be like the game's final boss, hunting you down while you solve all the puzzles in this last room, but he is also afraid of the lantern, so he won't even approach to attack you unless you pull out another tool. Look at him, just run away like a fucking coward. I feel like I'm the final boss here. All you have to do in this final room is solve a few more simple platforming puzzles while he's following you at a distance, just kind of watching. But once you manage to open this door, climb down this scaffolding, and step on this plunger to set off some fireworks, the Manticore just kind of disappears, and the credits roll. Kind of an anticlimactic finish, I'm not gonna lie. But after visiting our new home, seeing the cuckoo clock and the incomprehensible gateway to another dimension, yeah, I don't think we're quite done with this game, are we? And if you keep walking all the way to the right here, there it is, the animal well. Again, there's two of them. Jump down the animal well, and it brings us back to the first one. Well, if this isn't a sign we need to explore more, then I don't know what is. If you want to witness the true final ending to this infinitely recurring well, you're going to need to collect all 64 of the secret eggs hidden throughout the game. Individually, I wouldn't say any of them are that hard to get, but figuring out where they all are exactly can be a challenge. If you're going to do this yourself, I would basically recommend looking for any blank space on your map and trying to fill it the fuck in. That will, unironically, get you almost every egg in the game. If we return to this room during the Manticore escape sequence, we can find a room with two chests to the left here. In the top chest, we have the double bubble wand, which allows us to blow as many bubbles at the same time as we want. Also, take note of the 8 faces on the wall here. These are important because they correspond to the 8 notes on your flute, and you're gonna be seeing these a lot. And in this other chest, some sort of a figurine or something. I wouldn't know, because every time you die in this game, one skull gets placed here, and if you die even a single fucking time, it's blocked off forever. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm not beating that cat chase sequence on my first try no matter how many times I play this game, so this shit's locked up forever for me. Now, remember those egg doors? As we collect more eggs, they begin to open. I know, shocking stuff. At 16 eggs, we get our second reward, and I'm sure you wanted something to help you find the other 48 eggs. Maybe a hint on the map? Well, here's a pencil. Fuck you, draw your own hints. If you want something that will actually help you progress the game, you're gonna need 32 eggs, at which point you get the top, which will destroy certain ground tiles, opening a few new ways forward, and allowing us to get some more eggs. Returning to the factory with both the lantern and the top, we can now discover all the songs we need in order to free those cats. Then, continuing down this tunnel you dig up with your top, you will come to a room where all of the cats have gathered once they've been freed, alongside their mother, who, in gratitude, will sing a 64-note song which unlocks this cage containing the wheel, a tool which allows you to activate some secret gears, along with moving over spikes. If you return to the chameleon boss fight area and climb up to where he was, you can also now find the S disc. Returning this disc to the snake pedestal near the start of the game opens up a new area, at the end of which is the remote. You know how you need to flip switches sometimes in this game to toggle some blocks? Well, not anymore. You can now flip them from anywhere on screen at any time. In addition, this remote doubles as a sort of sonar, allowing you to see chests through walls, so I highly suggest walking around and continuously flashing this until... Jesus. After blowing open this area, we now have access to these controls, which allow us to edit this mural on the wall any way we see fit. In addition, using the top here, we can dig up this. If you can't guess from the colors, this is the key to the mural puzzle. But remember when I said you can't solve all the puzzles in this game on your own? That's because A, I'm not very intelligent, and B, because this puzzle piece here is one of 50 that are randomly assigned to you when you begin the game. You have to get the other 49 from other players. Fortunately for us, however, other people have already solved this puzzle, and once we finish putting in the solution, this wall opens up, rewarding us with, oh, a rabbit. Rabbits are famously not eggs, so this will not help us with our egg collection, but we want him anyway for some esoteric bullshit that we'll be getting into later. Moving on, once you manage to light every single one of these candles in the game, this door opens, revealing a new path which leads us down to what feels like the bottom of the Mariana Trench, home of the final fast travel gate in the game. Aren't you just so happy that you can come back to the pitch black abyss anytime you like? However, try to open up the gate's mouth, and it's gonna try to open up your fucking skull. Yeah, this is a boss fight. Fortunately, its aim is so fucking dog shit, it's like it's not even trying to hit me. Serenade him, and you can come inside his mouth. And on the other side, find the UV lamp, which is just like the other lamp, but this one shows hidden writings on the walls. There's not too many eggs that require this specific tool, but it does give hints of what you need to do for a lot of the other eggs. So I spent a lot of time just walking around with this thing on, reading clues, as well as finding this invisible rabbit, which, yes, we will also be needing for later. Now, remember this fuck-ass fucking kangaroo fucking piece of shit asshole? Yeah, we're gonna need him to get the final tool in this game. Turns out, the best solution when he starts harassing us is to harass him back. Throw a firework at him, and he'll get scared and drop a piece of the K-metal. Take 3 of these pieces over to the kangaroo statue, and you'll receive the bouncy ball for your trouble. Now this is not a good item, honestly. You gotta use it to clear some of these blocks, but if the ball stops bouncing for whatever reason, including flying the fuck off screen, which it does a lot, all the cleared blocks respawn. These little segments where I'm unburying a chest locked behind a million of these fucking blocks feel far more luck-based than logic or skill-based like every other puzzle in the game, and are a massive miss in what is otherwise a stellar and well-thought-out game in my opinion. But you can also use this ball to play this little breakout minigame, so that's cute at least. But with the final tool collected and all 64 eggs finally within my grasp, the final egg door unlocks, rewarding us with another egg, which looks awfully familiar to a little well-loving bitch I've seen before. Return to the Manticore room, and in the upper left-hand corner, you will find an egg incubator. Now, you're going to need to put all 64 eggs into the incubator one at a time, and wait 10 minutes for each to hatch. No, I'm fucking with you. You just click it and a new Manticore spawns immediately. And when this new Manticore attacks, he will blow out these walls for you, make it past a couple of basic puzzles, and you will find a new fast travel totem. Toot that flute and the Manticore will, he'll eat us. Lots of getting eaten alive visuals in this game, huh? Why is that, Billy? After getting eaten alive, we will teleport out of the well as the credits begin to roll again. The credits have now rolled twice for each person actually involved in developing the game. But if you're worried that we've actually solved everything this game has to offer, fear not, because now we gotta do some shit, man. After aimlessly wandering around the sky for a little while, the Manticore will spit us out on this little island, which has on it not only the first Manticore we freed from the well, but also this series of bunny statues and the rabbits we found earlier. Can ya guess what we have to do now? Yeah, I told you we'd be getting back to them later. If you count up the rabbit statues here, there's a grand total of 20 of them, meaning we have to find, you guessed it, 16 rabbits. You know, for a game that's so focused on details, I'm not really sure why they didn't make the number of secret rabbits here equal the number of rabbit statues, but whatever, it's not really a big deal. Now, for the most part, these rabbit puzzles are clever and well put together, such as finding notes engraved on the walls behind these vines, using the UV lamp and this strange mosaic to find directions to play on your flute, this strange fucking ghost rapidly flashing a series of notes for you to play in order to turn it into a bunny, crows that sing a song you have to follow along to. There's also one rabbit hidden behind this room as well, which looks like bullshit, but actually can be cleared with just a few well-timed jumps. But then we have this rabbit, a rabbit that is hidden behind what might be the most single clever puzzle in the entire game. A puzzle that I literally could not solve myself. You see, if you go into your house and interact with this little computer upstairs, it will access your real-life printer and print out instructions on making an origami rabbit, on which are the notes for another hidden song. The fact that a video game like this actually gives you a physical puzzle to solve in the real world is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Easily one of the most clever things I've ever seen in a game. Problem: I could not solve this myself because I do not own a printer. I've decided not to keep one in the house after a bad experience. I had to look up how to even get all the bunnies before I knew this puzzle even existed. However, it turns out if you don't have a printer, my boy Billy Basso already cooked up a second way to get this bunny. See this funky grass on this obvious puzzle pedestal? Yeah, that's a barcode. Scan it and you will get the same song you need to get the origami bunny. I didn't solve this one either, but now that I know it's there, very clever. Guys, you can't expect the paper fish to be very smart, okay? I literally do not have a brain. It's just all paper. It's just paper all the way through. These puzzles are all pretty clever. They're all pretty fun to find and satisfying to solve. However, there is one fucking dog shit puzzle that we have yet to go over. Remember when I said that all the puzzles in this game were clearly hinted at and that they never seemed like stupid nonsense when I had to look up a solution? Yeah, so I was not entirely forthcoming when I said that because I was straight up fucking lying. This final rabbit is bullshit. You need to go through here, past these toggleable walls to get it. But just how do we get in here when the remote doesn't work in this room? Well, this one's gonna depend on some special game mechanics. You see, when you fall into water or onto spikes, you will be respawned on the last solid piece of ground you were standing on before you fell. So the solution to this puzzle is to, and I am not making this up, bubble hop and frisbee ride multiple screens away to a point where you can use the remote to trigger the second wall to open, and then jump into water, teleporting you back to this ledge with the wall towards the bunny now open. And if you, at any point, touch solid ground for even a moment, you gotta start the whole fucking thing over again. The only other place you're allowed to stand on is toggleable walls such as this. Look, I'm gonna be honest, this is entirely a skill issue. My stupid little fins cannot handle this. I was not drawn with playing video games in mind. So, I struggled a lot here. I touched the ground a lot, and I had to restart a lot, and I did not have a good time doing this. And I'm gonna be a salty little bitch about it. Go ahead and laugh at me. That's like half the point of this channel. But not even considering the mechanical skill spike required for this one single puzzle in the game that otherwise requires you to do nothing more than basic platforming, it's really not even a good puzzle in my mind. Most of the puzzles in this game are clever, requiring you to analyze out-of-place things in order to discover clues and then act accordingly with the information you have ascertained. This puzzle is unique in that you aren't giving any clue that you need to be doing something like this. Furthermore, rather than being a traditional puzzle where you're acting upon the information you were given, this puzzle is entirely an exploitation of the game's respawn mechanic that feels more like I'm sequence breaking than actually solving any sort of a puzzle. It doesn't feel like this is the way the game was actually meant to be played. And while exploiting a game's mechanics does make me feel clever when I do it on my own, I really don't feel like this is a good thing to expect players to do intentionally, especially without some sort of a hint that they actually need to do so. Maybe there's a more legitimate way to get this rabbit, but after searching a bit online, I failed to find any guide that showed any alternative solution. Every single one told me I had to do this. So let me know if I missed something here, but this feels like a rather poor mark on an otherwise extraordinarily well thought out game. But with that bullshit behind us and all 16 rabbits found, it is time to actually use the fuckers. Yeah, nothing actually happens when you go back to the bunny island. There's one final puzzle we have to solve. Next to the origami computer, there is coded instructions on how to use the BDTP, or Bunny Data Transfer Protocol. Do I know what the Bunny Data Transfer Protocol is? Yes. If you use the UV light on this board, it is a series of instructions programmed into the bunny's ears. Can I decipher this code myself? Well, I've just pulled up a guide to verify my suspicions, and I have no fucking idea what I'm looking at, man. But the subreddit I found it on assured me that it was a very clever puzzle. So, good job, Billy Basso. I'm just gonna follow this now, though. And following the directional information we've decoded from Reddit, we're finally able to find a new Sky Island and home to the 17th bunny. And as a grand reward for completing the bunny hunt, and in what might be my favorite instance of a video game developer's barely disguised fetish, we're getting fucking Vord again. Billy, if you are listening, stop. However, after manually snaking our way through the rabbit's intestinal tract with one final pop, we have finally finished ascending to Billy's personal heaven. And as a final reward, this angel has at long last earned its wings. But as always with Animal Well, they're not just going to be giving you a new tool with no reason to use it. There's one final puzzle we need to solve. If you haven't guessed from the fact that we get spit onto this platform facing the sky with some brand new wings, we're gonna need to find some more directions. But instead of eggs, rabbits, or other Easter goodies, this time we're going to be hunting for esoteric bullshit. What we need to do is find 8 Unicode messages hidden throughout the game. Every single one of these is designed to be as hard as possible to find. However, there is a running theme between all of them, in that we need to be pushing the absolute edge cases of normal gameplay to their absolute limit, including finding this extremely rare health, available only from this fucking groundhog on actual Groundhog Day, in order to survive what would normally be a one-hit kill from this chameleon, who then gives us the first code, forcing these hummingbirds to overexert themselves popping bubbles, who will then spit out the second code, startling almost every squirrel in the game. Squirrels that, if you do not startle them the first time, will just despawn forever, forcing you to start a new game to try again, eating 100 berries without taking damage, making this step counter in this stupid Tamagotchi near the animal well roll over to 0, and my personal favorite, escaping the animal well in under 60 minutes. Yeah, I saw that last requirement and decided, fuck it, I'm not doing this myself. I could barely handle platforming across 3 screens. You expect me and these stupid fins to actually beat this game in 60 minutes? You're out of your goddamn mind. Unlike the rabbits, however, you don't need to find all these codes personally for them to work in your game. And even though all of these things are technically possible for a single person to do, I do think that Billy Basso realized that these puzzles were unlikely to be found by a single person. So this is more of a community ARG akin to the rabbit world than anything else. I personally just use this guide from Fury Forge to find everything. But let's say you get all 8 pieces of this stupid gibberish. What the fuck do we do now? Well, notice that each message is a different length, each corresponding to the number of pixels of each color on this bit of art hanging on the wall in your house. How did someone discover that? I have no idea, but when you match the 2 up, we get a map. Follow this map from the giant bunny, and we can find a third and final floating island in the sky. And finally, after 4 layers of increasingly bizarre puzzles, our journey is at long last complete. But what could be hiding out here? Just what could be our reward for completing some of the most bizarre and esoteric puzzles ever put in a video game? What sort of absolutely legendary trinket must lie at the end of our near Herculean journey to reward the few players who dare come this far?
Hey, it's Dunkey. I've been trapped inside of the game's code for 277 years, and I just wanted to say thank you for releasing me from this game. It was a good game. I like the part with the ostrich and the bean monkey is, I love him. And maybe I can go play Animal Well 2 now by the time you've discovered this.
I, honestly don't know what I was expecting. Alright, bye-bye.